Hey everyone, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. We're going to be talking about disclosing infidelity to your spouse and exactly how to do that. Most likely, if you're in this situation, it's a really hard place to be in and very nerve-wracking. When we are having to hold this type of a secret that we have been unfaithful to our other half and we really want to let them know about it, it's probably one of the hardest things that you can do in a relationship because you know that it's going to be hurting your other half and causing devastation and possibly risking the fact that your relationship could break apart as a result of it. But you are willing to take this risk because you want your relationship to be okay and get repaired after this situation and hopefully be stronger afterwards. I want to let you know that, you're not alone if you're in this type of a situation. About 50 to 60% of marriages have experienced infidelity, and that's a pretty high number. So you're not alone. It doesn't mean that it's not a hard place to be in, and it could feel really isolating when you're in this type of a situation because you're risking losing the one person that you love more than anything in the world and you want to make work and be with forever. So we're going to talk about some ways to be able to address this type of an issue the best way possible. And so there's 3 steps on how to disclose being unfaithful to your significant other that I want to talk about and process and just give some tips on, okay? So the first piece is you have to mentally prepare. And so what does that mean exactly? Basically, if you are going to be disclosing infidelity, you need to mentally prepare because your significant other is going to want to know who, what, where, when, why, how, and everything in between. So mentally prepare these answers, in your mind of what you're going to say. Mentally prepare honest answers as well because you have been unfaithful, you have cheated. That's extremely dishonest. And if you are going to be repairing your relationship, you need to be answering with 100% authenticity. So be ready for these types of questions, and there's going to most likely be a lot of questions. So just mentally prepare for this type of a situation because it's going to be really hard, and I think it could be more frustrating for your other half if you're not ready to answer certain questions or you don't know how to answer them. When you disclose, you have to be ready for this and you have to be able to answer. So first step, mental preparedness, okay? Mental preparation. The second step is you need to make sure that you have enough time to disclose this information. The last thing you want is to get into this type of a conversation and one person needs to go to work, for example, or you're going to be interrupted by somebody else, whether it's children or phone calls or something like that. You need to make sure that you guys have a lot of time of downtime where you're not going to be needing to leave the house for anything or go out, because this most likely is going to be a very long conversation. So you need time for your other half to be able to ask those questions and talk about it, and you talk and have this long dialogue. The worst thing to do is be in this type of an intense conversation and having to postpone it and pause it and start it at another time. So you want to make sure that you allow yourself enough time to get it all out, okay? Then the third step has to do with accepting the outcome of what happens. And what does that mean exactly? It basically means that you are not going to be able to predict how your partner is going to be feeling or responding to what you have to say. So you need to be accepting the fact of whatever happens, happens. However your partner feels is how your partner feels. So you need to be able to accept that and not try to change your partner's mental state, in terms of invalidating their feelings or telling them, oh, you shouldn't be mad because I'm done. I'm not going to do it again. Don't tell them how they should feel. Just be accepting of how they do feel and meet your partner where they're at emotionally. I do want to give a side of caution that if your significant other at all gets any type of physical aggressiveness where it gets violent or physical, pushing, shoving, throwing things at you, you need to leave the room and do it another time when both of you have calmed down. I don't want anybody to be unsafe during this type of a situation. That absolutely is not going to resolve anything or make anything helpful. So if it gets at all violent or physical, disengage, and then you can re-engage in a conversation when both of you are calm again and able to do this in a healthy, mature manner. So there really is no right way to be able to disclose infidelity, but these 3 steps should really help you out to mental prep for it, give enough time, and just accept where your partner is at emotionally and validate. During this time of accepting the outcome of how your partner feels, you have to be honest, you have to be authentic, you have to be ready to disclose the good and the bad, even if you think it's going to be hurting your partner more, which most likely it is. I think there's no good reason that people, really cheat in terms of a good reason of where your partner is going to be like, oh, I completely understand, it's totally fine. That's not going to happen. So it's important that you are authentic and honest and you talk about why you did it and taking full responsibility for it. I have another video that has to do with rebuilding love and trust once the trust has been broken. So I want you to look at this video next, because after you disclose, you're going to want to start repairing the relationship and repairing the trust. And there are ways to do that. So please click on that video to get some helpful tips in that arena. Thank you so much for watching. Ask me any questions or comment below, and I'll see you next time, you guys. Best of luck to you. Take care. Bye.